Doc, New York enters this series with plenty of confidence. How important do you see it for your team to get at least one win here in New York?
I just look at winning the series, honestly. If we win the next 4, great. If we win the last 4, great. I don't ever look at it that way at all. So for us, it's single games. You know, that's how you play the playoffs. Every game's different. You have to prepare for every game, and then you just have to go out and play it as a single game. And if you do that 4 times really well, then you win the series.
When you have a lot of new faces, Doc, how do you balance not overloading them, but at the same time adequately preparing them for what awaits them?
Well, you just prepare them. You know, you prepare them in what you have to do as a team. All the other stuff is stuff. You know, they're going to hear advice from Kevin, Paul, and Jed, and all these other guys. At the end of the day, they probably throw most of it out. And you got to go play. You just go out and play in the game. And after game 1, I'm sure some of the guys who haven't been with it or new are going to find something out. And, you know, as a coach, I'm just hoping what they find out is really good. But even if they find out something really bad, you hope they can learn from it and move on from it. So I try not to overdo it. For me, I just know, you know, there's guys that I don't know how they're going to be in this atmosphere. And so I'll find that out too. I'll find that out about them.
Can you sense, though, Doc, in the lead up to the playoffs, whether guys are maybe being overwhelmed by the amount of information?
No, you can never sense that. Yeah, you got to wait till the game's played. I've seen guys have horrendous weeks of practice, and where you've gotten on them all week about not knowing the other team's sets, and then all of a sudden they get in the game and it all clicks. And I've seen the exact opposite. So you just don't know.
How would you say Kevin is physically?
Kevin's great.
Yeah. I mean,
he's no limitations. Kevin's fine.
How much are you looking forward, Doc, to not having to worry about the pedal to the metal now? You know, all season long you've been looking forward to this point where you can not worry as much about the minutes and just try to, get.
Well, that's nice. I mean, the 5-minute rotation thing with Kevin, I mean, you do it because you got to get through the season, but it's horrendous. I mean, teams were game planning against it. It got to a silly point at times where you take Kevin out and they bring their big back in, and you knew you couldn't bring them back in. So that's gone now. It's basketball. You know, we still want to limit his minutes, but maybe limit them to 40, you know, or 35, or, you know, in that area, not the set rotational minutes for him. And that makes it so much more difficult to game plan against our second unit.
Does it make it more difficult with your rotation? Because you guys haven't really done that this season?
Not at all. I mean, rotations are easy when you can play the better player more minutes. That's not hard. You know, it's when everybody's even and you're trying to figure out who to play. Well, I'll have no problem playing Kevin more minutes. I think that's easy. And I'll have honestly, no problem playing someone else less if Kevin can play more. So that's not a problem at all.
You've always shortened the bench during the playoffs. This won't be any different, do you think? Or?
I don't know, honestly. We clearly want to shorten our bench. But I think in this case, because we have so many guys that are almost equal, it's going to be short, but it may be different guys in shorter bench, if you know what I'm saying. You can write better than I can talk, so you'll figure out what I'm saying.
Don, read them.
Yeah.
Don't give us that much credit. With all that's happened over the last week, it stands to reason that, you know, your team is going to be emotionally inspired.
Yeah.
Is there danger in that situation of getting too emotional for players?
Yeah, you know, I'm not sure, to be honest. Yesterday was a strange day. You know, you're going to practice and you hear guys on the phone, and literally everyone calling home, yelling, or you can hear them stay in the house. And, you know, and I'm going to practice, and I even told our staff, this is we're going to make a lot of mistakes in practice day. There's no way their focus is where it should be, and you felt that going into practice. And honestly, we were right. Practice bared out that way. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, thank gosh it's over in that regard. It was good to see everybody in the city happy, hugging and rejoicing. And I'm sure our players had a chance to exhale, you know, because their families were still back there. I mean, Rondo was supposed to join us yesterday. He couldn't even get out. He was locked in, and he had to stay in himself. So what that does to us today, I have no idea. I mean, I think emotionally it could go either way. And, you know, hopefully we can figure out a way, if it's not going the right way, to gather them right to get it back. Thank God it's a 4-quarter game. And, you know, I'm always worried about any team, even if it wasn't for this, being too emotionally high at the beginning of a game, because you still have to finish the game. So, well, we'll see.
You mentioned Rondo not being obviously here first time in a long time for you going into a playoff
Yeah.
without him. That's got to be, I mean, is it a concern or is it now?
Well, it is a concern because, you know, I've never gone into any game or series without a point guard on the team. You know, we don't have a point guard. So that would be the concern going into the playoffs for me is, you know, everyone's going to pressure us. There's no secret. That's what you should do. And, you know, with Rondo, you have the ability to think your way out of it. First of all, no one pressures Rondo. Secondly, if they do, he can figure it out and run our stuff. We don't have that. That's been taken away from us, and that's a big chunk of your offense, obviously. We got to be able to trust the pass. And everybody, we've worked on it for 8 weeks now, preparing for this, not the regular season. And we'll find out if we can do it, you know. And I tell our guys every day, there's not one guy that's going to grab the ball and run our team. We don't have that. So don't worry about it. Just keep passing the ball and let the ball find the open guy. And if that's good enough for us, then that's good enough for us.
Is it good to have Rondo around for other guys, or does it even matter? I mean, he's got some coaching on him.
Yeah, he does. He probably coaches as much as anybody, you know. And I don't know if it helps. I think it does. I actually don't know. You know, as a player, you tend to listen to the players in the uniform over the suits and ties. I feel that way as a coach all the time. You know, so we'll see. But I know it was great today in shoot around. I mean, he knew every set the Knicks were running. Every time we called out a set to walk through it, he was pointing where everybody, I mean, it's amazing. He's always been that way. And, you know, I was surprised today because he's not playing. And yet he studied the book. So there's got to be some good value in that.
Because I know what you're saying about the suits, but is he on another level where
yeah,
guys are going to listen to him?
He's always been on another level in that way. I mean, I always tell him if he wasn't so crazy, he'd be a great coach.
Do you want him quiet on the bench?
No, I want him around. He's a good mind. I mean, he's a great mind, and he knows the game. I mean, he's a smart kid. People have no idea his IQ. They really don't. And, you know, it's funny right now, just talking, even after our shoot around, he walked up, and, I mean, he's into it.